Namaste, my dear brothers and sisters. The love and blessings of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo to all of you. I have with me here today Dr. Surinder Katoch, an experienced and eminent Ayurvedic physician, and her daughter, also an expert in Ayurveda, who has finished her post graduation just a few years back, Dr. Mukta Katoch. So, welcome the mother and daughter team, keeping the flag of Ayurveda flying. And today we shall be talking in this session about a disease that seems to be on the rise, and that is cancer. Some people would argue that perhaps the rising incidence of cancers is probably because people are living longer. And if they live longer, then naturally one has to die of something, and cancer is one of those things that happens in old age, and that's why we feel that cancer is on the rise. Do you think it is entirely explained by the longer lifespan, or is there a genuine increase in the incidence of cancer?
Yes, sir. This, thank you so much, sir. It's an honor to be here with you and sharing the knowledge of Ayurveda on the topic cancer. As you said, that the age is a factor because the longevity of life has increased, and therefore the percentage of cancer patients have increased. This is not so, sir. I right now have a patient 6 years old suffering from cancer. So thinking that age is a cancer and the more you live longer, there are possibilities of having cancer. This is not at all true because in Ayurveda, it is from 0 to 100 years is the age to live actually. Dividing that into four ashrams, the Brahmacharya, the Grihastha, the Vanaprastha and the Sannyas ashram. So if a person lives like that and does the karmas like that, what is required, then the person will die young. And this we have seen number of persons also in our life reaching in 90 plus, and even my father-in-law died in the age of 93 without any cancer. So saying this, that longer the age is, possibility of cancer is more, somehow I don't agree to this statement at all. The reason can be something different, and that is what is happening today. So right now, just as far as the question with age is concerned, so I don't agree with that, that if your age is more, then you are liable to have cancer only because of age. That cannot be a factor. No, sir. Ayurveda doesn't say to that.
In modern science, we look upon cancer as a disease that is the result of uncontrolled cell division or proliferation of cells that has got completely out of hand. And that leads not only to a big mass of cells, but these cells are not only the result of rapid multiplication, they are also functionally useless. So they are not different, well differentiated, and therefore they cannot perform the function which that organ was performing. Uh, Ayurveda has its own way of looking at things, and maybe there may be quite a bit of similarity in the way Ayurveda looks at this process of. Uh, it's just that the language is different, and the ancient language of Ayurveda we don't understand today. But still, you may like to enlighten us about how
Sure, sir.
Ayurveda looks at the process of cancer itself.
See, sir, it is rightly. There is nothing here, the modern science and Ayurveda, as the first statement which you said, uncontrolled division of cells
Mm.
is equal to cancer. First statement. It is the same. Whose work is to enter into uncontrolled division? Vata and Pitta. The whole lifestyle of today, because mobility is in Vata. Vata is mobile in nature. And when we talk about cells, the metabolism, there is anabolism, there is catabolism. So catabolism is breakdown, and that is done by Pitta. Anabolism is by Kapha. And Pitta and Kapha both are Pangu. None of them is mobile. Now it is Vata it is going to expedite the process. So when this vata combines with pitta, the catabolism increases. So this catabolism or anabolism, ये हवा देने का काम वायु का है. And if you see the lifestyle of today, the lifestyle of today is totally hampering our vata and pitta. That is the reason why cancer is in high list today. Every age group, children, young and elderly, all are suffering from cancer because we are disturbing the vata and pitta to such an extent that the breakdown of cells is happening, and which, as you rightly said, those cells become useless in the body, not doing anything good for the body, and there occurs depletion of all the dhatus, all the body tissue, and a thing comes in front of us. We call it as cancer.
Thank you for letting us see it so easily. That's Ayurveda. It essentially a Vata disease, a disease because of predominance or malfunction of the Vata element in the Prakriti, and Vata is mobile, and the rapid proliferation corresponds to that rapidity with which we identify Vata, and the modern lifestyle is fast-paced. So the fast-paced lifestyle and Vata and the rapid proliferation of cells go hand in hand. And that's why, sometimes I tell people that just replace one type of hurry with another type of hurry. Huh? Instead of saying hurry up, just say Hari Om, Hari Om.
Yeah, true.
Uh, Now, cancer is a heterogeneous entity, and one cannot have a blanket answer for the causation or the treatment for all cancers. And cancer in different organs could be different, and also cancer can be at different stages. So, depending upon the organ which has been affected primarily, where all it has spread, how much it has spread, would vary the treatment. But still, you may like to give some general principles of treatment of cancer as we have in Ayurveda.
See, sir, the basic thumb rule of Ayurveda, the basic thumb rule of Ayurveda, which is rule of 4 for 4, is the basic philosophy from a mild disease to a disease like cancer or autoimmune, which come into the incurable status. And the thumb rule is we need to work upon our physical health, mental health, social health, spiritual health every day. Every day. And for this, we need to work upon our ahar, our vihar, our achar, our vichar. Means the food, the daily schedule, our behavior, and our thoughts. These four are the causative factors. And these, all the four are deranged today. And the result is there is no harmony within self. And we talk about social health. So, in social health, we generally think that it is the health like of mine with my society, whether at my workplace or at my family or at my neighborhood. But when I treat, because I have many cancer patients with me, when I treat cancer patients, I ask them, what is your social health? So the answer which I get is, no, I am very happy with my husband, with my wife, with my children. And sometimes I'm too disturbed, too much stress, either at work or at family. Number of answers we get. So then I just ask them, I am not talking about the social health which is outside you, whether it is work or it is family or it is neighborhood. I am talking about the social health which is within you. So understand your own society first. This is the main management of Ayurveda. Understanding the own society first. And our society is initially four things, which is life, शरीर, इंद्रिय, सत्व, आत्मा. इन चार चीजों का संयोग is equal to जीव. So body, sharir, indriya, the organs, sattva, the mind, atma, the soul. So a life, whether it is plant kingdom, animal kingdom, humans, any life has four things. So once you are going into management of cancer, first enter into alignment of these four. So we have to withdraw inside. सो गाड़ी की अलाइनमेंट नहीं होगी तो गाड़ी धक्के से चलेगी या फिर गाड़ी रुक जाएगी या वो धुआं छोड़ेगी. So something will happen. So first alignment of these four things, visualize within yourself, your body, your mind, your organs, your soul. Go inside. Then go further with your society. And that is try to understand the concept and work on it. This is how I guide my patients when I deal with these diseases, whether it is cancer or autoimmune disease, to making your inner self your friend. Right now, your inner self is your enemy. Now we have to develop friendship. So friendship is starting from one cell. Multiple cells making tissues, multiple tissues making organs, multiple organs making systems. And this body has mind, this body has soul. So try to connect with each and develop harmony from cell to soul. Now this will come the theory, and the practical comes is the yoga and meditation. So this too, a combination of Ayurveda and yoga, works excellent in management of cancer. I have many patients. Even right now, there is a patient in the ashram. So yes, if surgery is required for a particular point, okay, fine. But going ahead with so many chemotherapies, so many radium therapies, what is the end result? I have so many cases. One of the patient was that the allopathic department told, never go ever to an Ayurveda doctor for treatment of cancer. So the patient said, I never went. And the whole treatment is happening by allopathic. And within 1.5 years, her young son expired. So just when the son was on deathbed, the mother is calling me. And that is when I knew now nothing can happen. But still we do something. Still, because we don't leave. Still we do something. So that is how the management of cancer with Ayurveda is listening to your own self, making your own self your best friend, working upon all the causes. Very important, the vata has to be under control. इसकी लगाम पकड़ के रखना या छूट गई तो गई. So that is what it is. Learning all this and then working upon food, working upon daily schedule, working on behavior and working on thoughts. Definitely patients have results when they do all this, and when required, I do say if allopathic is required for any particular entity, do go. We can go with a combination also. So, but this is the way how we manage either alone Ayurveda or Ayurveda plus yoga and modern system plus Ayurveda plus yoga.
Thank you
I
for.
would just like to add. Yes,
Sure.
sorry, sir. Yeah, so there are a few things that I just want to add. First was that when we studied cancer in our medical school, so the basic cause that was taught to us was that there is a constant irritation at some point, and because of that, there will be over a long time there will be proliferation of the cells because of the constant irritation. So in the present times, I think whether or not there is a physical irritant, but this mental irritation is constantly there in any age group. So presence of a physical irritant has, I think, become irrelevant. Now, this mental irritation is what we need to address, and which has become the most important. And when we look at it from the point of view of treatment, now Dr. Katoch has covered most of the treatment, but we have to understand that faulty lifestyle is what is becoming a cause of the increasing cases of cancer. Cancer, according to Ayurveda, is an asadhya rog, a non-treatable disorder. It comes under that category. But that does not mean that it is not preventable. it is preventable, and it is manageable. We can definitely improve the quality of life of a cancer patient, and it is definitely preventable. A lot of people nowadays whose parents have cancer, they fear that they will also get cancer. So yes, you can be prone to cancer, but that is majorly because you're following the same lifestyle as your parents. So breaking that chain of that same lifestyle is very important. If you don't break it, then yes, definitely you are also prone to that. Also, like, I am an anatomist, so I am going back to the sperm and ovum. I want to talk about that also a little over here. So we have elaborate description about what needs to be done by the male and by the female before they are trying to conceive, what they need to do after conception, what the female needs to follow during her pregnancy, what she needs to do after she delivers the child, and in general, what every human being needs to do, the dinacharya, the ritucharya, the ratri charya. There are so many charyas. Everywhere in Ayurveda, we have charya, different charya. So these elaborate things have been given so that we can prevent any aberrations that can happen in our body. Also, we can prevent passing on if suppose our genetic system has developed some aberration. So if we are following a proper lifestyle, especially before delivering a child, before trying for conception, if we are paying some focus to how to enter into that process, then we will prevent passing on these aberrations to the next generation, which is very important. Because if the previous generation has a certain number of diseases, it will multiply to double in the next generation if we are not correcting them. So it is very important to address these. It is important that if you don't want your next generation to have the disease, then you take up the responsibility to follow a better lifestyle. Learn what a good lifestyle is. It is not just doing an exercise or just eating fruits. That is not a good lifestyle. Understand what the four elements of lifestyle, ahar, vihar, achar, and vichar are. Try to work on them one by one. And then I think you'll be able to prevent cancer also, and prevent it from passing on to the next generation also. It's not a communicable disease, but it is definitely a disease of lifestyle. And further, I think we can discuss on how it is also a karmaj vyadhi. It has a lot to do with karmas according to Ayurveda. So we can come to that also, and we can prevent it from being on the rise, because it's increasing, and it's increasing in children, which is not good. Yes, that is it.
Thank you for those beautiful additional comments. Uh, Irritation, as you said, irritation by, say, pan masala or something in the mouth is visible, but irritation of the mind is not so visible, but equally important. And genes, again, as you pointed out, we blame the genes very often, but that's not all. And sometimes difficult to distinguish between the effect of genes and the environment, because the child is spending a lot of time in the environment created by the parents. So whether it is the environment that the parents have created or the genes that the parents have passed on to the child, which of these two is more important is very difficult to separate. And apart from the genes, there are, in modern science also, we understand many epigenetic influences which are apart from the genes, and also that genetic expression can be influenced by several lifestyle factors. So nothing is ever sort of, the effect of genes is not as simple as we sometimes assume it to be. And Dr. Surinder Katoch also talked about surgery being an acceptable option. And in fact, if the tumor is still operable and has not spread, surgery is certainly considered a very desirable mode of treatment because it brings down the tumor load. The body has now less to deal with. And that is not the exclusive treatment, but at the same time, it can be a good first step. And with that smaller tumor load, both the Ayurvedic approach and other approaches available in modern medicine, particularly the mind body medicine aspect of modern medicine, can do a lot of good to the person. And when it comes to the mind body approach, uh, essentially, it is harmonization of different parts of the being. That's what Dr. Surinder Katoch was getting at when she said that you have to also keep in mind that apart from the body and the mind, you also have a soul. And in fact, soul is the leader. Soul is the part that is always at peace. Soul is the part which has no desires, no anger, no jealousy, none of the negativities which we associate with us. So, in fact, the body and the mind have to tune themselves to the soul. That is what will lead to a unification of the being and harmonize different parts of the being. And that is something which the spiritual path, which in practice translates into yoga, is all about. And this acquires great significance when the cancer has reached a point where it cannot be treated by any of the systems available. And Ayurveda has also acknowledged that's one of the asadhya, as Mukta said, that is incurable diseases. But then the disease may be incurable, but that doesn't mean that nothing more can be done towards the fulfillment of the purpose of life. And many patients utilize this as an opportunity to grow spiritually. And maybe you would like to say something about that. Patients and their caregivers have both grown a lot spiritually through this process. So the disease is, in a way, a blessing in disguise, which gives an advance notice of a few years, during which both the patients and the caregivers undergo a tremendous spiritual change.
Yes, it is true, sir. Like right now, I have a patient in the ashram itself. She'll be coming. The hands are up by the allopathic department because they have done what maximum could be done. The surgeries, the chemos, the radios, radium therapies, everything is over. And now they have said that now just count your days. Now, this lady at this stage is going to approach me on Tuesday. Now, what am I going to do with her? As you rightly said, all system of medicines give up. Nothing can be done. But should we say nothing can be done? This is the spiritual path which we are talking about. Yes, when a time comes, when a person knows normal life, this human life is there, now the connection starts. And that is the time where you can actually work upon yourself, and the ultimate goal for which this birth is given, that aham brahmasmi, that I am a part of Brahma, and Brahma is the creator. And if Brahma is the creator and I am part of the creator, then I am also a creator. And if I am also a creator, I have the ability and the power to create anything. Till now, I created which did wrong to my body and mind. Now I've got an opportunity to create something which can be good for my body and mind, and reach a level where now I can actually reside the point from where I came, to be a part of the creator, which is the ultimate goal, the moksha prapti. So that is the time when a person has to do nothing else now, no other work. Therefore, that time becomes an opportunity. Now, people may work 60 years on themselves and maybe reach no goal. And a person can work for 3, 4, 5 days and reach a goal. This is the karma theory. So only this much moment was required for you to totally release yourself and be a part of the creator. So this all depends upon your previous karmas also. Like, for example, I did my post-graduation from National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur. Prior to that, I did my graduation from Dayanand Ayurvedic College, Jalandhar, Punjab. In Punjab, there was not much Ayurveda over there. And before entering that, I was a student of convent schools, totally into Christianity. But at home, total environment of Gursikhi, the Sikh environment. But the concept of this yamas and niyamas of yoga, they were taught in the brought up. unknowingly, unknowingly, to which we call spirituality as a ritual. This was also taught in the parenting unknowingly because it was a rule in the family. We are 6 brothers, sisters. Whosoever does not have a shower in the morning and do Japji Sahib ka part, that child will not get breakfast. This was a rule. So by all means, we had to do it. It was a rule in the family. That rule, how it helps in improving your own immunity only and leading a path towards spirituality, we never understand. We understand in a later stage. So the whole philosophy of Ayurveda, when we say, it is Panch Tattva, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. And when we'll die, we'll become a part of Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. So these 5 elements. So because being from a Sikh family and reading Gurbani and the Aarti, so this I realized very late when I myself made a course. And then I realized this is taking us very close to nature. And in today's time, we are very away from nature. So being close to nature was गगन में थाल रव चंद दीपक बने तारे का मंडल जनक मोती धूप मले आन लो पवन चवरो. This is all going towards nature. And to cancer patients, to improve their spirituality, I first tell them, you are not able to sit outside in nature. You can bring the nature within yourself. With your closed eyes, just visualize that and connect with that. And the people who can do that, they are very successful. And now create things from that nature. And then, no, if you don't want any spirituality, nothing, just connect with the power. Whichever you believe in, just connect with the power. And that power gives you that strength. And that is how you slowly rise. And in this, one of my teacher used to say in Jaipur, he is a graduate and postgraduate of National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur, stayed in Jaipur, working on Ayurveda a lot. And when I went over there as a teacher, I said, sir, I am totally teaching the shlokas and absolute Ayurveda, nothing to do with modern science. So he said, तुमको ना जिंदगी में एक ही नारियल फोड़ना था, वो फोड़ दिया और तुम आ गए. और हम from years together we are working on Ayurveda, still we are saying कि हमें तो आयुर्वेद नहीं आता. So the point here why I discussed this was, according to the previous karmas, to be one with the creator, it can take few minutes, because सिर्फ उसको इतने मिनट ही चाहिए थे इस स्थिति में आने के लिए, or it may take years. So therefore, once the person is having cancer or in the last stage of cancer, it is the time to be utilized. If that person utilizes that time, and even now is no more the cancer is with the patient, the spiritual growth happens. And that is a transformation with this cancer becoming a blessing for the patient. This is how things happen.
So would you like to give a message before I wind it up?
Yes, I think I would say in continuation to what Dr. Katoch just said, it was coming to my mind. The Adhyatmic gunas were coming to my mind. So in Ayurveda, we say that there are 6 qualities of the Atma. And these 6 qualities are Sukh, Dukh, Ichha, Dvesh, Prayatna, and Buddhi. So Sukh is your comfort, your happiness. Dukh is your sorrows. Ichha are your desires. Dvesh is the hatred. Then Prayatna is being effortful, and Buddhi is your intellect. all these things, all these factors, if they are under your control, you move. This is like the primary class. You start moving towards your spiritual progress. So I think for a general person, things might be difficult, but once you've had a cancer, you can expedite this process. You can work more upon getting all these things under your control, how to stay happy, how to bring down your sorrows, how to keep your desire, because see, you know that the time is less, so your desires, you have to bring them under control. You know that you may go away in the next few months, so your hatred you have to bring under control. So this is an opportunity for you to actually expedite that process, to mm, like expand that process of spiritual progress in a very short time. And you may just come out of it also. You may come out of the phase of cancer. You may live even longer. But it's an excellent opportunity, because I think in the present world, see, nature has its ways of doing things. God has his way of doing things. So maybe in the present time, because mankind has moved and drifted so much away from spirituality, this is the way that we are being brought back. We are being shown a way to come back to our nature. And it's a bad way. Cancer is a bad way of coming back there. So we should try to prevent it. But if we are not going to mend our ways, then the nature is going to push us towards our nature. But it's in our hands now that whether we want to get pushed through cancer, if we want that route, or do we want to actually correct our lifestyle, prevent cancer, and move through the right route that it should be. So I think that is in our hands. And that would be my message to everyone.
Thank you, Mukta. Let me start with where you ended. That if we don't mend our ways, nature will force us to go towards in the right direction. Surinder has said something very beautiful at two different points on relation to this. I think in Savitri he says that economy of nature is very harsh. Nature has a harsh economy. And another place he says that the world is built on the principle of sacrifice. Sacrifice essentially is give and take, recycling. So nature, the universe is based on the principle of recycling, or what we call sacrifice, or yajna in the broadest sense. So if we are unwilling to make that sacrifice, follow that principle of sacrifice, it will be imposed upon us by nature. So nature has its way of bringing us in the right direction. It is all powerful. Uh, Another important point that emerged from this was that we should not be going in for the either or approach. It's not either allopathy or Ayurveda. And the two can work together. And in fact, and this is a message which is more important for my brothers and sisters trained in allopathy, better called modern scientific medicine, uh, because that is the type of training that I also had in medical school. Ayurveda physicians are in any case always willing to let the patient also make use of allopathy because of the dominance that allopathy today enjoys. They don't want to tell the patient don't go there, but it is those who have been trained in modern scientific medicine who have a great resistance sometimes to Ayurveda and other approaches to treatment or health and disease. So it's not an either or approach. And in fact, we had a very broad canvas ranging right from the biology of cancer to spirituality. And in relation to spirituality, Dr. Surinder Katoch talked about having been exposed to uh, the Sikh religion at home and Christianity in school. And then she got married to a person who, of course, follows a sister religion of Sikhism, and that is Hinduism.
Yes.
So she has seen all, at least three of them. And that reminded me of a beautiful quote from Swami Vivekananda, who says that in religions, if you know one, you know none, which means you should become familiar with at least two religions to understand it. And what does that really mean? What it means is that if you understand more than one religion, you are likely to turn more and more to something that is beyond religions. And what is beyond religions is spirituality.
Yes.
So, uh, religion can serve as a kindergarten for spirituality.
Yes.
And from religions, the world should move towards spirituality. And that is the vision of Sri Aurobindo and the mother also, that the world will eventually move away from all religions towards
Yes.
spirituality. That is spirituality, which is devoid of rituals and ceremonies, which we may not understand, but it acknowledges that higher power that is behind everything that we see and do. So it is that power which has already always been there and will always be there, to which everything is known, and for the power for which everything is possible. And in fact, who is the person who has brought the spirituality in, highlighted spirituality in the area of cancer, both for prevention and management? In the present times, the person who has done it probably the most is Bernie Siegel. And Bernie Siegel is not an Ayurvedic physician. He is not a spiritualist. He is a person trained in modern scientific medicine, and at that, a cancer surgeon. A cancer surgeon is the one who has ended up emphasizing the role of the spiritual approach in the prevention and management of cancer, because he found that he had some exceptional patients on whom he operated, and then he found that these patients recovered completely. They got cured of the cancer. And then he went into the details. He found that these people did not have a milder form of cancer. The diagnosis was not wrong, but these were different type of people. So the outcome depends not only on the treatment or the disease, but also on the person who has the disease.
Yes.
And what distinguished these people was that they were not obsessed with the disease, they were not obsessed with themselves. They, in fact, became more loving, caring, and sharing after they got the disease. And therefore, they not only ended up using the disease as an opportunity for spiritual growth, they inspired the spiritual growth of many other people who came in contact with them, including the caregivers and the family. So this is the person, Dr. Bernie Siegel, a cancer surgeon, who has in recent times highlighted the role of this broad approach. And I'm glad that we had a very broad canvas today in our discussion, ranging right from the biology of cancer to spirituality. And this is the type of approach that is good for us, not only for prevention and management of disease, but also for improving the human race, improving as a society, making the world a better place to live in. Thank you again for being here and helping in developing this perspective, which can be of far reaching significance for all of us. Thank you again and hope to have you again with us.
Thanks.